What's up, y'all? Back at it again with the lock trends. Hopefully this joint get the upload. This is like take number 2021, and but it's a current one. Today's date is September 4th, 2021. Happy birthday to my cousin Brittany. Um, and this is a lock update, lock journey for my sanity. It's been probably like this last couple of weeks, man. It was probably like I've definitely been dealing with a lot of like bad hair days. But I recently learned how to do the invisible braid, and um, which was helpful. I was able to wear that style for like a week since my son started school, and it's just been helpful, just getting my hair out my face. And I've also been kind of going through the process of like, do I want to cut my hair? I'm not sure what year I'm in right now. I think I'm in year 8, but I'm hoping it's 9 because I'm kind of ready to hit 10 years just to see. But that transition, that transition from just like from like us from like your previous year to to like when you really hit your year mark, your new year mark for like your hair. It's always like a beautiful transition from uh it's always like a beautiful transition from like a month out to from like a month out from your year to like that year. And it's always seemed like it's a big change that just hits you, and it just where your hair just looks good. I'm a firm believer that your hair definitely looks its best when it's probably at its dirtiest, which kind of got me in the transition of not needing to wash sometimes and stuff like that, where you kind of should limit your washes, because it can also, if you're not drying it right or something like that, if you're not drying it, letting it air dry, or if you just, sometimes that water dry, it just, I don't know, just that wet look just, it can kind of take away from the nattiness and the gringiness. Um, but um, you know, some of the changes that kind of it's been a lot of changes. I don't think I did a lot of. I don't think since my last video, which I think is a year, I don't think I've done a lot of changes, because I was hoping that like some of my new growth. I've been hoping some of my new growth that I've been like letting grow on the side grow. So I wasn't really doing too much changes outside of just cutting my hair myself. And yeah, that's just, I wasn't really trying to do too many changes. So um outside of cutting my hair, I might been like trimming out like my 1 inch dead hair off, but for the most part, the changes that I've made within like these last year, within the last year, um, it's there hasn't been much change, but this is like the little French braid that I've been learning. I learned how to like do the braid, and it's really just left hand over the middle, and just really repeating that process and that step each time, left over middle, right over middle, and it just kind of works out like that. And it's been good. Like I'm able to I'm kind of like taught myself how to like cornrow the case may be, which is good. So now I'm just sitting here trying to clear my head. It's Sabbath. I've been trying to practice some handwriting. But my mind is kind of, the anxiety of just, the anxiety is just, it's here now, so I figured let me try to channel that. And I haven't done any YouTube videos in a long time. But for the most part, I'm healthy. These goals that I've been having for myself, and just like, to implement a healthy hair journey without like putting my hands all in my hair so much, is just my eating habits. One of the things I haven't been able to get out on video because my mind always make a transition is one of the things that was kind of overlooked in the Loc journey process is just like your eating habits, or I think one of the things in the beginning that I read, and the information in the beginning that I read is that a good way to like help your hair grow was working out. And outside of like prior to that information being fed to me, it was scalp massages, washing, and stuff like that. But I think one of the biggest things that after you kind of hit your goal, that we should kind of like focus on, because I see a lot of people when they hit their goals, they're like, all right, it's just time for a bigger change, and they make a drastic change after hitting their goal. And I think one of the processes with your Loc journey that I experienced is you're gonna have multiple ugly stages. And I've seen this image of like the caterpillar turning into the cocoon, and then turning into the butterfly. And that stage is and it's kind of like the same stage of like Simba when he was walking on the log on the Lion King. He got your young stage, and that's probably when some people like cut their hair, and then they're like growing their hair out, and then they they have their locks. I think the middle transition of that stage that we kind of like kind of overlook is the middle of that stage is when you hit your goal with your locks. So like I kind of when I hit my goal, my locks was like the length and stuff like that. I think that's kind of the cocoon. I think that's the cocoon stage of your journey. The butterfly stage of the journey is what you can't see. Like it's what you can't see. You just have to roll with the process, roll with the goals, roll with the goal, or just roll with the unknown. I'm not sure if a caterpillar understands that it's going to be transitioning into a butterfly soon, but that's probably for us not to know. That's just the change you have to go through. And my butterfly stage is when once I learned. I think my butterfly stage is now when I learned how to like braid with my hair, like braid my hair. So I'm in my butterfly stage, and I think I've been in the butterfly stage for like a year now, because I was definitely feeling like the ugly stage. I still kind of contemplate if I want to cut it, but I know just the way how fresh my roots look and how I'm able to tie it back, I just know I'm like I don't need to make that cut soon, because my locks are also still standing and supporting itself in a way where I'm like, I can ride with it. And I know sometimes it's just me needing to shape up and trim the size down, and really just like apply like some minimalist effort to it. And that's what it is. And, I was also able to make like a solid transition from, just like, kind of growing out my beard a little bit. It's connecting now then. And it's connecting like over here. I knew how to like align that. So it's kind of connecting, and that's where, you kind of take in your butterfly stage. And, sometimes, you gotta like, you just gotta be patient, and you gotta find that, that you gotta find your love, the love of yourself, or, that's gonna, take you to that butterfly stage. Like once I learned like my eating habits, because I know I was eating for like survival back in the day. Nowadays I'm like eating for pleasure, because I appreciate the weight being put on me. I'd be talking to my mom, so she kind of she smiles at like how my face got fat, and I think, and how I got a dimple. Like my son has a dimple, but it's only on one side. So, a lot of people was like wondering, like, wait, they wonder where they get that dimple, we got that dimple from, and sure enough, it was in me. So, it's like, that's, I've never been like a fat boy. So, I think I weighed like 130 pounds and like, I weighed like 130 pounds in like 2006, like when I graduated, up until probably like 5 years ago, up until my son's age, or maybe even like probably like 3 or 4 years ago, until I really learned the process of like how calories work, and keeping that weight on, and how much, and what's going to like put pounds on you and stuff like that. I really started processing that information and understanding it, and I see once I seen the results, that was the biggest things. The results were like me just growing out my hair, but I was seeing them like, I was seeing the 30-day changes, and that really, or what, it wasn't even seeing the results just within myself, but I seen the results in one of my homies. And just like how big he got in his arms and shit, I was like, damn. I was like, what the hell you been doing? He just kind of put me on with some transitions to make. I think once he told me about the calories, and then the creatine. Sometimes like, I don't do creatine too much, but it's also, it's good, because it, I don't eat a lot of, I don't eat a lot of meat. I started eating steak again, because I like the way it puts the weight on me. So I do like steak tacos, but I don't do like dairy. So like, pause, I like my dairy from nuts. Like, if it's like cashew milk, almond milk, like, I prefer my dairy from nuts, which is whatever, you know what I mean? But, that's, that information, it's just certain information you take in later on in life. And, I appreciate that patience, and just like how you process the information, because a lot of times we just be walking and, moving, but we're not taking in like our surroundings. So like, if something major were to happen, like, you lose your legs or something like that, and you sitting there thinking like, you never really got to enjoy your legs, or really understand the mobility of your legs, but you need them. And that, that's the process where I wanted to like, be patient with and learn with. And, that transition, just those transitions and those changes came probably like 2018. I had a big change that I had to not necessarily live with, but I knew it was going to push me into the right direction. And I appreciate that's it for myself, like, and I kind of was aware, I appreciate it for myself because, you know, it's just it's certain personality aspects that I don't care to to be, it's certain personality aspects that I don't care to have in my space and my peace if I don't have to. Um, and there's certain personality aspects that, that's going to create a high-headed moment or a tense moment for me because, it's certain things that you just can see within personalities and the disrespect that people try to give, and they want you to brush it off so much. And it's because it's like a one-way street, and I'll never forget, like watching The Wire. I think Marlo, I remember he stole these two pieces of candy out the store when he was paying for something else too. But the security guy looking at him, yada yada yada. And when he stepped out of here, the security guy addressed him like, man, what you think I'm not gonna say nothing? Marlo is just like this big drug dealer and shit like that. And he's like, what you think? You think I'm not gonna say something? You just gonna take that out of my face? And the security guy, with his level of authority, you know what I mean? Which I see in the police brutality on black crime. It's just a level of authority that people get over you that they think is supposed to kind of just be like a one-way street. And it's like, you have to have an understanding of certain situations. I've been in positions where I personally can't, I don't fuck with police officers. I'm not saying I don't fuck with all police officers, but it's a certain class of police officers that I don't fuck with, and I am always willing to fight, you know what I mean? Or disrespect them in any type of way, because it's a sense of petty crime that gets put in the air, and they get, that I feel as though that, they trying to, I don't know, it's the word I'm trying to say is exert their power, but I don't know if that's the right definition. But within that same frame, people try to over, they're overextending their power in a situation that, because they feel as though you're powerless and this is just what it is and yada yada. But that's not how the world should be. They're trying to make it as, well, this is the world, how the world is, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't have to be like that, and you have the power to do. So I've been in positions where I've been locked up for petty crimes, and I'm let out, but I've been in positions when it's happened when I'm on a job, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, I can lose my job for you, you know what I'm saying? And they still do it anyway, just because. And I'm like, yo, you see me get this far, and you still gonna jeopardize that? And it's like, if you're willing to do that, it's like taking food out my son's mouth. It's to the point where, and I've seen it so close and so soon that I've been prepared to I've been preparing myself to make a move and make transitions, and just I know how it's coming towards me, because it's not just coming towards me. It's not just coming towards me just for anything. My timeline, my history, I think it all plays a role. I probably made mistakes. My fathers, my grandfathers, they've all made mistakes, and I gotta kind of eat it a little bit. But I also gotta be smart about how it comes towards me as well, because it's a little moment. It's like a little tense moment where if I don't respond, in a way, I know where it's gonna put me. And I've seen it happen on multiple occasions where when I've had responded, and it's put me in that position. And I'm just in that holding cell, sitting, and I've been in that position, so many times where it's like, I know they don't understand why I'm so patient, because when you're sitting in that holding cell, you're like, and you sitting there for so long, then it's in that, you in that motherfucker cold, you ain't got no blanket, and they disrespecting you in a type of way. It's to the point, it's like, you know, I have this freedom tatted on my back for a reason, because I don't want to be locked into nothing. It's a freedom, like, you know, we shouldn't be, you know, I have this talk with one of my homies all the time. We talk about like the cost of living and shit like that all the time. And it's like, I've read the information. I know where they're robbing us at. And for a person to still agree with it because that's just the way the world is, it's like, you know, it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? We don't see the world, you know, we see it, it's wrong within, like, you know, racial profiling and stuff like that. But you know, if I also want to speak on housing discrimination and also how you have to get over in the housing situation, but just doing this one little thing that has to benefit for you, and then not even looking at the full details, that's where I have a issue where I'm like, I don't, you know, COVID's been great for me. Like, I don't fuck with people a lot. Like, I had to learn that, like, it's not that I don't fuck with people, or I can't say I don't fuck with people. Yeah, I can't. I don't really fuck with too many people. I don't fuck with too many new people. Like, if I didn't go to school with you, I kind of got an eye for like who I have seen before. So if you know you cross my presence, I kind of know how you've crossed my presence. And I got a pretty good memory of how I had a pretty good memory. Nowadays, you know, it's kind of slipping a little bit. But you know, I still, you know, faces still kind of hold some weight in my mind, and it kind of triggers a little bit. But you know, that's, you know, it's little things like that where I realize, like, you know, like, I don't have to be a people's person. I'm not a people person. I'm not here to like entertain. Like, you know, when you see YouTube, you see a lot of people here doing it, you know, far as entertainment. Like, no disrespect to like Gunther the Great or anything like that, but for me, I wouldn't make that many changes to my hair just to, you know, entertain people and show them, like, you know, how to you know, get locks. You know, sometimes the transition is, you know, or at least for my hair type and people that can relate to me, you know, the transition is being patient. And you know, I appreciate the yoga journey that I went through, because it definitely taught me how to be patient. It taught me how to be still and just breathe in, and breathe out, and, you know, kind of watch the world make its transition. Because at some point you'll feel and you'll see like how the world is moving. You can just feel the world moving in rotation, especially when you just look up at the clouds and you can feel it. You know, you can feel the way time is moving for you. And it's little things like that where, you know, I appreciate my patience. You know what I mean? You know, I appreciate my journey, my history, because, you know, I know my history has definitely taught me something. Yeah, I know it's definitely taught me something. I even had to like double back on some of the things and like really understand what the hell I was seeing, and really understand, because, you know, you'll fuck up your timeline, man. Just like, you can fuck up your timeline. Like, I see stories within like people who look like me, people who look like me who have similar backgrounds, and, you know, and it's probably because you know, we fucking up our timeline. You know, we all we got the same timeline. A lot of times we fucking it up for ourselves. And, you know, it be those little trigger moments, you know, that set us back. like for instance, me, I couldn't own a gun. I wouldn't own a gun because I'm too high-headed. And yeah, I don't, and me personally, like any beef that I had or issues I had with him, I saw, you know, we duked it out. We had it was an honest duke out. And, you know, it's either I can ride on him or I could ride on him or, you know, I gotta let it be. You know what I'm saying? I take my L how it is. But, you know, I feel like, you know, I mean, I got my W's though, you know what I mean? Like, in any situations, and in all my situations, I definitely had my W's. But it's just, you know, I just grown to understand, and you know, I can always be better, and you know, sympathize. I have more. I'm sympathizing more in a way, but I also know that sympathizing too much is gonna put me in a bad realm of where I don't want to look like. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wouldn't like it sympathizing, and yeah, it just wouldn't work for me in that type of phase, in that type of stage, because I don't want to have to be dependent on certain, and I don't want to have to be dependent on that certain type of on that certain type of lifestyle. It doesn't fit my character. It doesn't fit my peace of mind. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at, man. This is my journey. Shape up clean though. I ain't gonna front. This side over here is the bad side where I gotta throw a little bit of that ginseng, that little topic. But this my little baby hair side right here. This all right here is natural. Like, I think I just do a light shape up over here. But I think this is that little fade on the headline that you get when you shape up. But I've been wearing my little lock sock, which is just actually a little face mask, the little scar face mask. I wear that as a lock sock. I just push it up on I wear it as a headband, and you know, I done did some things with my hair. Like, I done seen my waves come back. On this joint in the front of my hairline, which is kind of sexy, too sexy for him, you know. But this is, you know, this is my journey, man. Not too much. There's a lot of changes that I don't care to talk about. You know, it's personal. But you know, you can nitpick out of whatever you think I done spilled the beans about within, you know, my small talk for my sanity on here. It's just me trying to get back out to y'all, man. Just, you know, showing you the space that YouTube can be used for. I look at this as like Cuz from Avatar, when he had to keep shooting those videos when he was out on another planet. You know, that's just kind of how it is for me. You know, just a place for my sanity. You know, speak your thoughts. I ain't trying to get too wild and too judgmental. You know, too judgmental on people Locs or anything like that. I try to give you just like pointers, and my biggest point is just, you know, being patient. Whatever you do, what kind of foundation you trying to lay for your Locs, do it and stick with it for like 6 months. And stick with it for 6 months, because it's gonna lay that foundation if you let it chill for 6 months. And just, you know, overall, just, you know, those just my pointers. You know, if you want to separate with scissors. I think Jay-Z need to start separating with scissors. I've been seeing them new Locs. They okay, but I think he let them think he let him. I think he let him. I think he let them Congos lock up too much. But I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'm thinking about it now. I still think he can separate them joints. So let me separate them. But whatever it is, whatever the case may be, them joints going. He know what he doing, so you know music. I know hair though. I know how I grew. I know how I grew. So you know what I mean? Like anybody ever want that any help, I need to start doing like some freeform like tie-ups, wrap-ups, braid-ups. I think I'm pretty good at it. I know without like causing too much distress and parting on the system. But before I get to rambling and spilling too many beans, you know, everything is good. I'm in a safe space, mentally as well. Financially, you know, I believe I'm in a safe space nowadays. And yeah, you know, I didn't achieve my goals. It's just time for some new goals, and just time for patience. I do need to write down some new goals though. That's probably going to involve my son. My son has started school. He's doing great. This little learning transition it's great to see. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to show y'all, but you know, the reason why I don't show too much is because somebody made a comment on my son when he was first born in one of my videos. Said that he was an ugly kid. And, you know, I think about Jay-Z, man, and, you know, appreciate Jay-Z rhymes because, you know, he said something, they'll even talk about your baby crazy. And it's just crazy, like, what people would do online, you know what I'm saying, just to fuck up your peace, you know what I mean? And it's like, damn, dad, like, they, you know what I mean? Like, it's sad, you know what I mean? So, you know, I try to limit, you know, the exposure for him on there, for my exposure of him on here. I feel like he could do a lot of things off camera, but he might be he might be the camera. He might need to be the kid in front of the camera. Since I'm so much of a person who likes to be behind the camera. But you know, it is what it is. I hope all of this well with everyone, man. All y'all lock journeys. You know, if you're gonna cut them, you know, don't be afraid to restart the journey, and then think twice about if you're gonna cut them. Like if you're ready for a cut, maybe you're just ready for a shape up. We remember shape ups do wonders, man. Shape ups to save your whole process. So you know, just you know, think a couple of times about what you're gonna do with your journey, and let the journey come. But I hope all is well with y'all, man. This is the Loc journey. This is a 360. Oh, this joint coming up. Maybe I should just take it out. But yeah, this is how it is these days. You know, still it got its height. The front of the hairline is cool. The back, I let this little part grow in. I probably done messed up. You know, I cut it myself. I got my T outliners and my Austin's fast feeds. I was a little worried about my T outliners the other day, but for whatever reason they just sitting too high. They're not sitting on the whatchamacallit, so I just had to press down. But overall, man, this is the journey. They looking good though, right? That shape up right there, that ginseng boy be giving me life over here, giving me new life. But let me see if I can also show you how I braid it too. So one of the things I've learned is just bringing the left one over the middle part first, and then bringing the right, over the middle as well. And you're dropping them in the middle. I can probably braid it into this, but that shit don't hurt. So I feel like I'm tired. That's another reason why I don't be trying to braid. But I can't braid right now. That shit tire my arm out. But yeah, man, hope all is well with y'all. Peace out, though.